Hi, it's Clayton. Welcome back to Sticky Sims. If you're new here, don't be. Hi. You're no longer new here anymore. It's like you've been here forever. Anyways, today we are in the world of Windenburg. As time goes on, I realize how much I've really been sleeping on this pack. With the club system, the world, along with... I mean, I kind of knew about the build buy aspects of it, but like I've been getting a lot more into gameplay recently, and get together is where it's at, y'all. But anyways, let me talk a little bit more about this build. So I'm calling it an Olde Platz Tudor. Olde Platz is the neighborhood that it's built in. Of course, it's in Windenburg. The lot name is called Proprietor Square. It's kind of towards the center of that neighborhood, if you will. It's a residential lot, of course. It's on a 30 by 20 lot. It's 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Price comes to $144,500, so 144,000 simoleons and a half of another 500. Anyways, I did not restrict myself really much with the packs and the add-ons as far as this one goes. There is no CC in this lot. I did again try to make sure that I wasn't like using one item from a single pack as best as I could, but my focus more with this build was trying to find or build a house in my save file for the sim that I made inspired by my bestie. I'll talk a little bit more about her a little ways down into the video. Truth be told, at this point, I'm actually kind of going back through builds and videos that I had like prepped from weeks ago. I don't know about you guys out there, if you're builders out there as well, but it's not like a steady stream of inspiration as far as builds go. Like, it's not like this perfect, like I have one build every week that I'm working on that I just pour my heart and soul into. It's a little more inconsistent than that. But this build, this Tudor home that I'm building, it actually came from a little like creative spurt, if you will, a few weeks back, where I just kind of had this like wave of inspiration, and I built, or I should say I started building like 4 or 5 different lots, and just getting the shells all together. So then it's been a process over the past few weeks of like going back, finishing up the furnishings, finishing up the landscaping, wrapping up a video and such. So at this point, I don't really know how many weeks it's been, but we're going back and we're rewatching and we're finally adding a voiceover. I felt like it would have been a little goofy to do a voiceover for a video that doesn't like go public for a few weeks. But anyways, more recently, The Sims 4 has released a new expansion, the Businesses and Hobbies pack. So if you've been following my channel, you know I love to build, and if you've seen anything about this expansion pack, you know that it is completely game-changing. Like, I know it's kind of cheesy to say that an expansion pack would be game-changing, because by definition that's the purpose of an expansion pack, but for a builder who had many ideas in the past about like stacked type residences, where say you have like a little convenience or sorry store on the bottom floor, and then you have a residence above, is such a very common occurrence in the world, across multiple different types of countries and cultures. So it only made sense that this pack eventually came, and if you haven't bought it yet, I definitely would recommend you check it out. There's plenty of Sims creators out there doing giveaways. But yeah, so I started playing with it a couple days ago. The pack greatly improves like the different types of things that you can do at a certain business. So I guess it's like the customization of being able to run a small business is just so vast now at this point, especially if you have a lot of different expansion packs and such. But most recently, actually this week, now since it's hot in my brain, I guess I'll just go ahead and tell you about it. I decided to do a rags to like riches type situation. It was actually inspired by James Turner's series activities that he's doing. My partner was talking about it with his friends, so we all just kind of decided to take a stab at starting off in Nordhaven with no money and building your way up to eventually have a business. So I, of course, picked a tattoo parlor because tattooing and pottery are two very new things, like hobbies, activities, I guess you could say, that they added to the game with this new pack. And if you've been watching any other videos on my channel, I've been doing the Durban Legacy Challenge in The Sims 2, and I'm all potteried out for right now, which, I mean, I did check it out and see the animations and the kilns and everything that came with the pack, which is amazing. I just, as my first like exploration and digging into it and spending hours, I was like, I'm gonna try to do something other than pottery. And this is also like the first time that I've ever experienced tattooing, like custom tattooing in a game. Now that I say that, I haven't actually tried my hand at actually like creating a custom tattoo, just because I haven't exactly been known for drawing talents in the past. But we'll get to it. So I have a cute little like rags to businesses tattoo parlor going, and truth be told, I don't normally play rags to riches, but I was given the advice to try using the kleptomaniac trait, and it has significantly made things easier in a way, which I know seems a little redundant because you usually do rags to riches to try to make things harder, but being able to just, go over to Judith Ward's house and steal her piano makes things a lot easier, especially if you're trying to start a business and it costs like 750 simoleons just to get your business registered. But anyways, I should probably talk a little bit more about this actual build that we're on. So let me reel it in. Cast a line, reel it in. Okay, so it's a Tudor home. The world of Windenburg, from what I understand, is supposed to be like modeled, I guess, after places in Germany. There's a very clear like style when you're looking at the different builds that already exist in Windenburg. So half of the battle was me just trying to make sure that I really understood what I wanted the house to look like from the map view. I've talked about this in other videos, but it's very important to me how the house looks from the map view, just because I know that's a very important part of the game for me when I'm going in and looking at where I want to go, who I want to travel to, where I want to build something, looking at that map view. I also do use, while I'm thinking about it, I do use some map overrides for PC users. I put a link in my description because there are some stunning map overrides that actually like follow the layout of the world in the game, just so it's a little bit more, I hate to use the word realistic, but it's really the best word that I can come up with at this point. But yeah, so we kind of got this like stacked Tudor home, played around with the different windows and everything that's a part of it. It's funny because I've really kind of dug myself into Sims 4 content creation, especially Sims 4 builds, and I feel like building a Tudor home in Windenburg is kind of like a rite of passage, or like a it's another patch to put on the little Girl Scout sash. It's like another piece or regularly done video by Sims 4 builders, but trying to catch up to where I was actually at this point in the build. I actually remember when I was editing this, I laughed at myself because the landscaping here, it actually, I only left in 3 of them, but there was actually about probably like half a dozen tries at how I wanted to landscape the front of this home, because I knew that I wanted it to be like lush and full, but I knew it didn't want it to like overtake the negative space. Being that it's in a city, it's not very heavily green, if that makes sense. Like if you're doing like a cottage, or if you're doing something in island living, there's gonna be lots of greens and a lot of lush landscaping, and that's not really the case here in this world. But we needed to compromise because the house, just in my opinion, is just going to be hideous if I don't landscape it enough. So multiple tries, but we ultimately landed with what you're seeing, I guess, in a few seconds. But I also, with this like little arched entryway in the front of the house, I actually had to redo that about 2 or 3 different times. I realized there were issues when I was working through the tour, so that was a little frustrating. Building the whole house and getting it all, filmed and getting all your footage together, and then you start editing the pretty little cinematic tour at the end and realizing, how the fuck did I just completely just overlook like the front door issue? But anyways, so there are a bunch of little pieces and like bump outs and features that come along with these Tudor style homes that I had a lot of learning to do. We all talk about research, but I just don't like to say that I do research. I really just kind of casually browse the internet, trying to make sure that I understand things like conceptually from like a big picture point of view. But anyways, let me zoom back. So the Tudor home is for my bestie sim, where I just needed it to, one, fit into the town. I needed it to fit with the sim that I was going to put to live there, and I wanted that sim to remind me of my bestie, but it didn't need to necessarily like follow it exactly, because at the end of the day, my bestie is a person, right? Not a sim. So the sim I created, her name is Lynn Kelly. She is a spellcaster. She, of course, lives here in Windenburg. She is besties with the Cody Wody sim, who's inspired by my partner, and Borge, who is my just like my favorite super sim that I've been playing with right now. I did create like a sim self, but he needs a makeover. But yeah, so Lynn Kelly, she is a genius. She is a dog lover, and she is lactose intolerant. So these 3 things apply to my sim, and they are also true of the real person, the real inspiration. Shout out to Bestie out there if you're watching this. On the different places within the interior, I did try to use purple as best as I could. Purple being, my bestie's favorite color, but we all know, especially with creative types, as you become an adult, saying one color as your favorite color is just not really the most accurate thing to say, right? For those of us out there, like, if you ask me just point blank, if I have to pick what my favorite color is, the same as my best friend, I'm going to tell you that my favorite color is purple. However, I also really, really love, I've kind of grown into loving greens. I also really enjoy the color yellow. Particularly like wearing the color yellow. Like I don't always paint my nails, but whenever I do, one of the favorite colors for me to paint my nails is yellow, just because of the like happiness and joy that it brings you, right? So it's like we have multiple favorite colors once we realize, as we become an adult. So in addition to making sure that there's purple accents and different things within the house, I made sure to also include lots of pinks and greens. Partly from the like makeup inspiration. Me and my bestie, one of the things that we really share a lot of like love and interest in is makeup and YouTube makeup influencers, all that kind of thing. I'm not the best at makeup, so I dabble here or there. Maybe one day I'll show you guys a lookbook or something one day, but that's for another day. Yay! Okay, so we're finally moving into the house. So the family that I picture living here is also modeled after the family that lives in my actual best friend's house. So Bestie lives there. Then she has her partner who's going to be there with her as well, and then 2 dogs. So we made sure that there's enough room for 2 Sims in here as well. I put in a dog bowl, I believe. if I didn't, I'm going to go back and put a dog bowl or two. So you walk in, and there's naturally just an entryway that kind of also serves as like a hallway, a means of navigating the house. So right when you walk in, you can immediately go upstairs where I did a landing. All of the bedrooms, all of the bedrooms are upstairs. Right. So truth be told, I actually had to pause for a second so I could go and re-review my screenshots and try to remember the full layout and everything for this house. But I actually took a few liberties outside of like the realistic family that I modeled this after. So right, there's the couple with the two dogs, but I also took it a step further and kind of started imagining what it would be like once the family started expanding. So we definitely have a set of twin boys that we also created a room for here. I figured that the twin boys would be like the first kids for this couple. One of them being, or I guess kind of giving you the two twin boys that are identical. So because they're so identical genetically, they're of course going to grow up and their personalities are going to become very polarized, very, very contrasting individuals. So you got one that's a little bit more right-brained, one's a little bit more left-brained, one's a little bit more on the creative, feminine side, one's a little bit more on the, fitness, bro, masculine side, and then a girl, a third, the baby of the family, a little girly who's a little bit more on the subtle, meek side, kind of follows after her mom, but she definitely loves the like reddish pinks and blues a lot more. So you'll see that when I get up to her room a little bit better. She's also the one that's like never home, so she has stuff in her room, but it's not like very lived in. But anyways, right, so you walk into the house thinking about the layout, and there is the entryway. Now it goes up and there's the landing, all the bedrooms, right, like I said. So downstairs on the first floor, when you walk in, there's the little entryway. Immediately to the right, I've kind of created like a rec room type situation or an activities room space. So there's a piano in there. There is a flower arranging table in there from my Lynn sim, as well as a walking pad, like a treadmill, for husband's also a like gym rat type, and then a little ways off of that is actually this little room that I made that I'm calling like the gaming corner, so that the couple, even once the kids are gone, they're still just going to be that gaming couple. So I used two of the desks from the Comfy Gamer kit, and I just kind of put them facing one another, threw everything in there, decorated it. I did actually have to go back with this a couple times while I was building it, and switch into live mode just to make sure that the Sims would be able to go in and out. So I guess the term that I'm looking for is like play tested. I did play test that room to make sure that I wasn't just dreaming that this was going to be possible. I also tried to kind of work the concept of yin and yang in a way into this, to kind of create this cute little like balanced gaming space, right? A his and hers. That's what the word I was looking for. Right. So, okay. So that's what happens when you go on the right side of the house. If you continue down the hallway, it'll take you to the back of the house on the first floor, to the kitchen, and like utilities area. But otherwise, when you walk in the front door, if you take a right instead of going upstairs, going to the, hold on, not a right. Oh my God, Clayton. If you walk in the door instead of going right and instead of going up the stairs and you take a left, there is a little like hallway corridor on the left-hand side of the stairs. I created a few rooms on that side. The first one is kind of the small little like study nook. My thought process there was, if we have like a rec room and a gaming type his and hers space on one side, on one wing, then on the opposite wing, it would probably be useful to have like a true like study or like quiet room, where you could go close a door and just kind of have some space to, do homework, work on a novel, whatever it is that you have going on, where you might just appreciate some quiet space. Then immediately down the hallway from that quiet room, kind of, and towards the center of the house, is the like formal dining room. I used a lot of items from the Life and Death pack for this room. I just felt like I don't know, it's very like ornate, some of the details and different things that they included in the Life and Death pack, which just really fit well in a formal dining room type idea. Along with the formal dining room, I also kind of had this little space that I kind of created like a half-ass like butler's nook, butler's pantry, that's the word, butler's pantry, if you will. And then there's also a bathroom right there because, you know, we need a potty on the first floor. Now, across the back of the fairy house, so you have the back door, you immediately walk into this like long landscape room, which is the kitchen. The kitchen is splitting two different utilities type rooms. So on one side, the side with like the gaming and the rec room side of the house, I put in a like laundry utilities room. And then on the opposite side from that is the bathroom. You can actually see it right here, a little ways up, sharing a wall with the butler's pantry. So that is the entire first floor. I wanted the first floor to be most of the shared spaces, most of the living spaces that you'll see the family doing different things. So I knew that I didn't want it to be overly crowded, but I also wanted it to be decorated enough that it looks like, you know, people live there, if that makes sense. So outside, it feels a little weird when I look at it because I feel like normally when I'm doing these builds, I need to add more things for them to do outside. But in the world of Windenburg, there's always things going on. And I'm going to look and see if there's other mods, but I want them to be a part of like multiple clubs so that we can call them in different directions, make them do whatever, you know, whatever moodlets we need or whatever kind of activities we want to, you know, cut up with our friends, whatever the aspiration or career is that we're working on at the time. But here we are actually moving into the kitchen. One of my favorite things to actually watch myself put together, just because kitchens are such a like universal experience for everyone, right? Because we all gotta eat. So now, it's not exactly like my actual best friend's kitchen, but my best friend's kitchen is actually incredibly inspiring to me at this point. I wanted to make sure to use green cabinets because that is something that my bestie used in her kitchen. She actually did something that I haven't seen in very many houses. It's usually something that you only see in like interior design magazines or usually like commercials for Wayfair or whatever, but she actually did pink walls and green cabinets with like gold fixings, and I swear to God, y'all, her kitchen looks like something out of like a Tumblr blog or something. It's just the colors shouldn't work as well as they do, but they do, and it's just a complete like night and day shift from what I was used to growing up, which was usually a lot of earth tones, neutrals, nothing too loud, everything kind of falling into like a scheme, if you will, which I mean, I guess still, you know, playing with the golds and the greens and the pinks, that is a scheme. It's just a little bit more eclectic and a little bit more bold, and I just love that she has the courage to take a step out and the confidence to know that it would look as good as it did. So I did my best with this kitchen, but it probably can't touch how cool my best friend's kitchen is. But God, she's gonna see this video and she's gonna be like, dude, all you did was talk about my kitchen for 10 minutes. But anyways, I do like building with kitchens in The Sims 4. I like watching how other people build their kitchens too. Like I was saying, how a kitchen's kind of a universal experience. It's always interesting to watch different people, especially different Sims 4 builders that make YouTube videos or stream or anything that are from all over the world, and just to kind of get everyone's different take and creative you know, choices and decisions that they make for their kitchen, because every culture has different food, right? So then we all have different ways of preparing it, and different ways of how our house flows and how we operate, right? It's culture. Yay, culture. So, but yeah, I want to take a second and just kind of ask you guys as my viewers a few things if you're still watching at this point. So I'm at this point I'm not a part of the EA creator program or an EA partner at this point, but it is still, I want to get all of the add-ons that come with my favorite game eventually. So I'm kind of starting with the like bigger expansion packs, like full-on expansion packs, not just like the gameplay or the stuff packs, like a full-on expansion pack. And I've determined that the ones that I don't have are High School Years, Discover University, Eco Lifestyle, and Get to Work. So, okay, Get to Work, Eco Lifestyle, High School Years, Discover University. I want your thoughts. I am planning on waiting out for some sales, of course, because they have the pack sales frequently throughout the year. So I'm just curious, which ones should I prioritize out of these four, and which should I probably wait for? From what I understand, I know that there's a lot of things that I'm missing out not having the Get to Work pack. A little simmer friend of mine, Chicken Pops, actually did a huge stunning mall build with the Get to Work pack, and I was just watching it and just so intrigued, and I'm like enjoying this little series that he did, and I don't even have that pack. So it's like I can't download or do anything with it. I'm just sitting there like in awe, like, wow, this is so amazing. I can't do anything with it. But as I'm watching different creators and different people talk about the Get to Work pack, I'm also understanding that I probably should wait until it's on sale, that it's a better value for me and for my game if I wait until then. But in the same regard, also, how am I going to justify to myself, to the queer simmer that I am, of not being able to have Juno Birch in my game? Why is that not happening? So y'all will know the day that I finally get the Get to Work pack. I'll probably have some posts where I have a household with 8 Juno Birches in it. But anyways, on the topic of Juno Birch, she actually really inspired me to start making some different gameplay type videos. So if y'all have some time, if you're liking my content, you want to see something a little different than speed builds, I have a Sims 2 playlist in there where I've been working on a Durban Legacy challenge, which is incredibly hard in The Sims 2. Maybe I'm biased, or maybe I'm just partial because I'm bad at video games. But The Sims 2 is tricky. So y'all go check those out. I feel like I'm a little bit of a mess, and it's also important for me to note that I don't necessarily make these videos for kids, so not family friendly. Sorry. So we're moving on now into the bedrooms. Bedrooms were the last piece that I did in this build, and bedrooms are sometimes either they come together so quickly that I feel like I didn't even have to think about it, and there are other times where I feel like I can never be pleased with how the bedroom comes out, either because it's just feeling a little too much like me and less like this character that I'm trying to create in the game. But this time, because I knew that this build was, inspired by my bestie, before I started working on these bedrooms and on the second floor, I decided to do one of me and my bestie's favorite pastimes, and is doing that special green medicine, that Willie Nelson and Bob Marley medicine, if you catch my drift. So after I was effectively zooted, I started playing my favorite game, which was a great time. But I will say, I went back and I was like, I like these builds, but it doesn't make sense. Some of the placements and different things that I did in the main bedroom, I was like, why did I put this here? Not that I don't like it. It's just that I can't. How am I going to explain this, Clayton? I'm rewatching my video and trying to fall back into the mindset that I was in when I was building this, and I'm like, what the hell were you thinking, dude? And honestly, the only thing that I can say is I'm gonna blame it on the Mary. I'm blaming it on Mary because it was her fault this time. But I kept with it. I stayed there. It was a few tries, but yeah. So if you didn't know that about me, I like to enjoy my life, right? So I grew up here in Louisiana and grew up around a lot of alcoholics and dealing with different people like that. So I've kind of explored other ways of relaxing. And anyways, The Sims 4 is the number one way that I like to relax. But I wanted to go all in and just feel my good oats and remember how much I loved my best friend when I was building this house. So if you're out there, bestie, I hope you enjoyed this house that I dedicated to you, and I hope that you're able to include this in your game. But thanks for watching, you guys. Enjoy the speed build, enjoy the tour. Ta-ta for now. Bye.